Hello and welcome to JK It's Not About You. I'm Jen Rouse.
And I'm Kelli Mirko, and we're your hosts. We're new empty nesters, and we're here to talk about what the next chapter looks like.
For so long, we were taxi drivers,
Domestic engineers, chefs,
tutors, cheerleaders,
and everything else that goes along with being a parent.
No days off, no paid vacation, and very limited time to pursue our own passions. It just wasn't about us.
It really wasn't. Join us on this new endeavor as we find passions in all things empty nesting. The little birdies have flown the coop and they're living their best lives, and now it's our turn. We're sweating through our 50s trying to figure it all out.
From resetting on marriage, navigating divorce, dating at 50, we're here to reclaim our calendars, our bodies, and our newly found identities in this confusing yet exciting new phase of life.
So grab your glass of wine or beverage of choice, your cozy sweats, and join us as we unpack all things real in our 50s.
Welcome back. It's another episode of JK It's Not About You. We're like a remote situation.
Yes, very remote. Hi, I'm Kelli.
I'm Jen.
And I'm the third amigo.
I'm really happy to have our third amigo. This is Kimberly.
Welcome.
Podcast queen.
Podcast queen. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for having me, you guys. I'm your biggest fan, as you know.
Well, I think you're really helping, people like us who are, not exactly technically savvy. I mean, our kids are a lot better and whatever, but Kelli and I are always up for a new challenge. And today is doing this remote because I have the plague.
Yes. Seriously.
Yeah, we're
seriously.
here remotely.
We're a little late.
Tell us a little bit about your plague. Tell us a little bit about your plague. What's going on with you? Why are we here like this?
It's so weird. I don't know if it's like a COVID variant that is new or a flu. I did get tested for both. We're negative, but I think I went too soon to the clinic. I'm on day 9. At least the body aches are gone and the fatigue and the fever. That was like the first 4 or 5 days, 4 days. And now I'm just got this this cough that won't end, but it's nasty.
It's awful.
It's really nasty. And, I haven't been sick in so long, and I've been doing this health kick. Kelly's still doing the 75. I had to obviously retreat from all the exercise. I couldn't even get out of bed for 3 or 4 days. Just still drinking the water. I'm obviously not drinking alcohol. I'm just trying to get my stamina back. But
it's hard to go outside when it's cold. We live in a really cold environment, and the last thing, respiratory stuff is awful. So to try to go outside, when you're sick is just not advisable around here.
No. And how cold is it in Park City right now?
I mean, actually, the last few days have been just beautiful. But maybe 40, 50, 45, 40s?
Yeah, I bet it's in the 40s today.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's good.
So I'll try to regroup and get better. But it's, you realize, we did a year of this remote stuff. Over a year. And it's bringing back flashbacks of, having kids at home. I mean, our kids were in high school. And it was crazy. I mean, I was doing ceramics on my kitchen table with Sarah, going to pick up clay. I'm like, can we maybe not do ceramics class during the pandemic? Do you think we could substitute a different art form?
Yeah. We had Eric with the rolling paint.
Oh
thing.
yeah, she had printing, and she's like, we have to pick up art supplies. I felt like the lunch lady. Okay, I rolled out. Nate was in 8th grade, and I was making lunch, breakfast. They're doing their Zoom. They're doing, so all this remote stuff every single day, and not being able to go anywhere and just, and this was just sort of I had massive flashbacks about it.
I actually was also having massive flashbacks last night, because Charlotte came out with the stomach flu.
Yeah.
And she was on day 4 of it, I think yesterday, where she had been fine, at this point. Like, she hadn't been throwing up and whatever. She was sort of borderline on the fever front, like not technically a fever. But anyway, we wanted to go get sandwiches. And so she was looking for her little doggy mask. She's like, what happened to my doggy masks? And I was like, I wanted to be like, I burned those. Like, people don't even mention those things. Like, I literally was getting flashbacks of it.
Yeah.
So I gave her a black one, because I'm like, we're done with those. I'm like, oh, you ran out of them. I lied. Like the good mother that I am. Speaking of motherhood, I just want to say how much I've learned from you both. Can we talk a little? Well, sorry, backing up. I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
It's okay. I'm turning the corner. I mean, I should be, up from here, I hope. But yeah, it's like,
Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, if you don't mind, the essence of how your podcast came to be. And I just really want to talk about your podcast with you, because it's my favorite subject and I'm your biggest fan. So what made you guys even want to do this?
It's such a good thing for people out there that if they want to do this, it's such a fun, creative outlet, especially for Kelli and I, we're on the next phase of life, trying to find things that motivate us and make us feel like part of something. And, I always wanted to do something creatively, whether it be writing a book or something like this. And I really enjoy this. I really enjoy talking to different people and like you, and meeting you and learning that there is a platform for it.
Oh yes, there is. And it's so interesting, actually, now that I just thought of it. The whole way I stumbled into podcasting was over COVID, because you're trapped at home with our lovely, wonderful kids that we love so much. But it was truly, like you're saying, it was just a form of expression and an outlet. And it was so hard to figure out how to do it. And it was so technical and so many steps, and nobody was there to help me. And so when I met you, and you had already, I give you so much credit, because you had already built a studio, you had bought equipment, and you got really far in the process, but yet you started to stumble, how do I put together the equipment? And I was laughing to myself as you were telling me that, because I literally was having flashbacks of exactly, I had gone through the exact same thing, which
it's a hard thing. You have an idea, and idea is great, and then I had help with the studio and getting it up. I knew kind of what I wanted it to look like. Kelli and I took a while to find out our name, and then the Jen Kelly and the, that JK, the Jen Kelly thing came about, and just how it kind of came about.
Morphed, yeah.
And morphed, and letting this creative process. And I feel like every week is sort of like that, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? And there's always something that comes to mind and something you want to share. And even though our kids are young adults now, you have young kids, you can look and see, oh, okay, this is how they manage this, or, and hopefully I wish that I had some of that.
I agree.
Especially when I was navigating Sarah, and, I stressed so much, over her life and all of that. And how that may be just, it's nice to know that you're not alone out there, anything can be helpful. So I'm glad to hear that your kids are much younger, but you're getting something out of it. So that's good.
Oh, I'm getting, so I always look at, when I'm producing shows, I always look at it from the end user, from the audience's perspective, because I'm an avid psycho when it comes to listening to podcasts, whether it's for education, entertainment, or inspiration, or some combo. And what I get, and I'm hoping, when I'm saying this, I'm hoping to share, the voice of the people as well. But I can tell you first of all, the two of you have this magical best friend chemistry that is like, it's so unique and so great the way you vibe off each other. So it's just fun to be a part of and feel like I'm your third wheel listening. But really, I have to tell you, and I don't think I've gotten to really share this, is how much I am personally taking from the show. So not only just enjoying the show, but what I have gotten as a parent is just so important. Like, I can tell you right now, my kids are just 9, 7, and just 3. And, the pressure that people put on their kids and the pressure we feel as parents to make sure that we're maximizing our kids in sports and education and all this stuff, to hear you guys being kind of on the other side of some of these pressures and hurdles. And, they've flown the coop, as we say. By the way, your intro makes me giggle. When you say domestic engineers, Kelli, I just die every time. I laugh every single time. It's so creative and so hilarious, but it's also so true. But I've learned so much in terms of it's all good. Enjoy the ride. Your kids are going to be fine. Don't over-engineer the pressure on them. And it's okay if their story is imperfectly their story and it's not textbook what you would have imagined or whatever, because it's all good. What matters is that they're happy and that they're supported in your relationship with them and the trust and the communication you've built with them. That's really, so important. So I just really admire both of you guys and thank you for it.
Thank you. I'm glad that we're able to share that. I just think that it's so important just not to break the child's spirit and let them be who they are. And it's just gold to let them do that. Because at the end of the day, none of the things that everyone thinks that matter. They really don't. It's like the good human being wins, and the hard worker and that person, not the one who was the homecoming queen and the cheer captain or whatever, So anyway, we hope we hope people are listening to that.
We are listening to that, and I really, what you just said, literally makes me cry. Not breaking the child's spirit. I literally could start crying over that. I just think it's so. You're just both really such, and I really mean this, such wonderful human beings and mothers. And despite both of you guys having your own personal challenges like we all do, I think what makes your show so successful is just the absolute authenticity and the viewers recognizing that your values are so much in the right place, and that comes through when we speak about your kids or we get to see your kids. I've personally gotten to meet your kids, which, by the way, we do need to talk about that because I don't think I got to share this on this show, what that was like, because it was crazy iconic. But yes, just really the way that you communicate with your kids and you've built trust with your kids, and just your tips, your practical tips. Kelli, you're always saying, I'm not going to jump in and start telling them my opinion. I'm going to listen to theirs and see where they're at and meet them there. All these tips that you guys have given, just so helpful. So thank you.
Yeah. That's
they,
cool.
you asked, what, how we got started. And I think there was a lot of different aspects of that. And one of them I would say is just many years of sitting around Jen's round dining room table with the 6 of us and her and I just bantering back and forth about whatever we're doing today. And our kids would just be like, you guys, because we're always wondering, what's the next phase? What's the next thing? What are we going to do? And they're like, you guys, and Jen would talk about doing something creative, a podcast or something. And they're like, you guys should really do a podcast. And I think that was the spark that Jen almost needed to really solidify, okay, we need to do this. It was helpful because they just,
Oh.
The back and forth was just always great with the 6 of us, but the 2 of us was always super special.
Chemistry, you can't bottle chemistry. It just is, right? So we just always have great chemistry and we have fun. And I think that's the huge takeaway. It's it's so nice to have something fun and creative and not have pressure or and we're talking
Agreed.
about our kids, which, I mean, my whole life has been raising these 2 kids, and that was my big success. That was my big contribution to the world, and I didn't have a big career. I didn't have much of anything else, and it's like shining a light on these 2 individuals that I'm sending off, and like, you don't see the fruits of your labor when they're really little. It's like, I was thinking like how fast time has gone, and I thought those days, swimming at the swimming pool every day with Sarah for therapy, and driving to all these places, that would just be like never ending. And here she is, spring break in Florida with a girlfriend. She's out, like, gone doing things. She's so independent, much more independent than I ever thought she'd be. And it's just one thing to share, like, to women that put their life on hold and do raise kids, and you give up a lot, and the fruits of your labor is like, now, like, okay, look at what like Kelli said, it doesn't matter, the little things don't matter, like, they're good human beings, and I think that's,
They're
like,
great
the
human
biggest thing.
beings.
Yeah, they're great human beings, and I'm really, like, honored to be their mom. I mean, it's
Same.
and even Kelli's kids, like, they're like mine, I mean, I look at them adoringly, like Elias, that it feels like yesterday
so
he
much.
was like this little picky
Unconditionally.
eater that I had to, now he's gourmeting it up, he's eating everything, he's traveling, he's like confident, and Melissa's all off on her own. I mean, it's just the watching them just sort of spread their wings and go, and having that appreciation of the time we got. And I just think, like, there's so much to share about that. There's so much to share. But
Forever.
Yeah, and
Honestly.
one thing I can say as a viewer too is what jumps out at me the most about your kids when I see them on, it really, like, clarifies it, like crystallizes it, is their character. That's the thing that jumps out to me the most. And it's all a reflection of both of you. And to me, it's so clear. I'm sure as the parents, it's probably harder to kind of see it, but I'll tell you, as a third party viewing from the outside in, and like sitting there listening to your struggles personally or family wise or whatever's going on, it's so relatable. But then when you see your kids and their character, you can see their work ethic, you can see their compassion for each other and for others, and their sense of confidence to take risks, like we saw with Nate. Like, he's like, this is my passion. And it's, it's inspiring, because I left a career that was very corporate and cookie cutter, and I'm taking a risk right now. You guys are taking risks. So his spirit of saying, this is what I love, and I'm going to make something of it, whether or not it works out the way I think or not, or whatever, this is my passion. And he's confident in that decision. And Aiden is not Aiden. Aiden's back there, by the way. We should, by the way, where is Aiden?
Let's give him a shout out.
Aiden, where are you?
he's our filmer, producer.
Hi, Aiden.
Hi,
Hey guys, how are
Aiden.
you?
Hey.
And I've gotten, I've gotten the pleasure of watching this young man just grow up.
Put him back in the frame.
Oh yeah, he's been Nate's little, like, big brother, not little,
Here's
big
Maya.
brother growing up forever, and was like that Nate idolized him, and I always said to I always wanted him to be sort of around Nate to can they see you?
Yeah, they can,
To be the mentor for him, and I really appreciate that you were there for a lot of the formative years, you were older, you could have been partying and you weren't, and you were just like, sports, this is what's important, and be you. And I just think that was just you were just such a good influence. So Aiden's the best.
Well, thank you.
Aiden's the best.
You can see we're making him really uncomfortable right now, and I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm always behind the lens. I'm like, what? Whoa.
Listen, Aiden, that's how we all started out. Just friendly reminder, but Aiden has been spectacular, and I'm so grateful that we have Aiden because he's really able to co-produce the show with me because he's on site. I'm in California, and you guys are really all getting a behind the scenes today, which is such a gift. But he's been spectacular. He put together, anything that you guys can see and hear is because of him. And
He shows up early every single week and moves chairs and sets lights and checks our sound and sets the cameras up and deals with our shenanigans and Maya and is just super kind about all of it. So we love you,
Really
Aiden.
is.
Thank you.
Really
we
is.
love you.
We love
And
you.
Aiden, you always have a home with me. I can always keep you busy working. I'm just a friendly reminder because you don't have too many jobs. I heard. I think he has like 27 jobs, right?
Oh, all
Doesn't he?
these jobs. He's filming my son and filming other athletes, and he's just always
Yeah, the
always
athletes.
leveling up. But he's
Shout
very
out, Aiden.
creative and very good, and we couldn't have done this really without him. So
Well, thank you guys.
For sure. We're so lucky.
yeah, we're the other moms.
So now that we've embarrassed Aiden, I meant to actually say Elias when Elias was on. Sorry that I started to embarrass Aiden, but I was in the back of my mind wanting to shout him out anyway this episode. So that kind of happened. That was a happy accident. But I was just saying also when we got to see Elias, he's another just incredible soul. Nate, Sarah, we haven't met Missy. So Missy, when are you coming on, Miss Melissa?
I know. We have to do this remote with her, I think.
We can.
We should.
We can.
Yeah. We
She
should.
can tell us about her adventures post-graduating college and continue
Yes.
on the sagas. I know she's applying for her master's. Oh, so can I share how cool it was? This is something that you guys can't say about yourself, but I can say, because again, I feel like I'm the voice of the people and the fan. I have to tell them about when my family came out and visited you guys over winter break. Can I share that a little bit about that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically what happened was my wonderful husband kept all three of my children in the hotel because they were having, they were going to melt down if I brought them to the restaurant, and I got to go in the flesh and actually experience your world with you. And so you guys, when I went, I got to go to Firewood, and I was so shocked that it was on a main street and or it was on Main Street, which is a main street, right next to Kimo Sabi, and I was already stunned that it was. I mean, it's essentially the Rodeo Drive of Park City, right? So I was already super surprised about that because nobody mentioned that to me. And anyway, we go in and she has the private dining room all set, and which was so sweet and considerate. And of course, I felt terrible because I'm like, oh God, I hope we're not taking business from them. But anyway, it was just really sweet. So I'm sitting there. And all these young people start coming in and getting advice from Jen and Kelly, and I was sitting there oh my God, I feel like I'm in a movie. I feel like online when you watch people and you start to follow them and you feel like you know them and you're in their life with them almost. So I've been
Yes,
that.
I do.
Yeah, so I literally like a real fan. So then when I was there inside of it with you, I started to trip out, and this is before we started drinking. I started to trip out. I was 100% sober. I just want to disclaimer that. And I was like, oh my God, this is wild. I'm in a movie. I feel like I'm literally in their life with them. This is so crazy. And it was even more magical and more insane in person. And it was iconic. It was the best thing ever.
That was a great night.
I think it was Bennett asking advice about his move.
Yes.
Yeah, but he already made the decision the day before. Remember, he signed the lease.
Running it by us.
But he was checking with you guys. But it's like an ode. You can sense that you guys are both beloved by your community, and you really are loved. And then they come out with the whole menu. I don't even know what I ate. I ate every single thing that was put in front of me.
That's what happens when you go there, Kimberly. You eat everything.
Yeah.
It felt like I was at the French Laundry. It was so fancy and so delicious. Okay, and then
So sweet.
Chef John
Peeks
comes
in.
in. He has a window. So this is Kelly's husband, and he has a window, and he like opens it and like pops his head in, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, this is like a celebrity sighting right now. I can't even take it. And he was just, it was. I don't even know how to explain the excitement and joy that was for me to get to spend time with you, and then and having that wonderful, wonderful meal. So make sure everybody, if you go to Park City, go say hi to Kelly.
Come
and go
see us.
It's the
Go
best
eat.
restaurant here.
You need to come back this summer and check out the summer menu and do some hiking with us here in Park City because it's beautiful.
You would love
Everyone,
it.
summertime.
Love it.
Okay, we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing was Jen. Okay, so this was the other part 2 of it, and then I'll stop talking because I have to gloat and share this because you guys it was just so spectacular. So then the next night, I'm giving everyone the obviously super abridged version. The next day, or was that the right order? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah. You guys
it
went
was the next day,
skiing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next day I bring my kids and my husband and we get to meet Jen, and Kelly was too busy working and things like that. Like she's too fabulous and too busy. But Sarah was there with her
Yep.
boyfriend, and I was like freaking out yet again because I was like, oh my God, I've heard so much about Sarah. Like I'm such a fan. Like I don't even know how to act. So anyway, everyone's ice skating, including Sarah.
I know.
And I see the most breathtakingly beautiful girl. I couldn't believe it because when you say when you hear that somebody has a disability, you have something in your mind like, you don't know what to expect, and I really genuinely I didn't know. But she was so poised, so polished. I would have never, ever in a million years known that she had any kind of disability because she's so capable and just bright. And I mean, I don't know how to describe it. Like she is smart and beautiful and has her stuff together and kind and patient and all these things. So it was just a captivating experience to get to be with them. And I could go on and on, but I'll stop talking now.
Well, and your kids were like, for young kids, so engaging, looked at you when they spoke to you, very curious, well spoken. So, you're on the way. I mean, even your little one was like out there and she had a long day and was tired and was like hanging in there. I mean, it was, it shows that you and Brian was out there ice skating, like, I mean, they had a long day and they were just going to keep going. And, I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to tell you, wait, this is like, I have to tell everyone what happened at the end. I don't think I told you guys this. Okay. We had the best time. We went ice skating and then we went to a restaurant on site and the kid, I mean, it was just, couldn't have been better. It was just awesome, right? Great, amazing evening. So anyway, we got this great Uber. It felt like we had a private driver. When you get the fancy Uber that was like, you feel like it's like a driver,
Yeah,
like
there's
like
like the airport people in between,
Yes. So we had and it was one of those cars where you're like, the guy probably went 5 minutes before to like clean his car. Like it was so pristine. It was so perfect. So anyway, my baby and I were in the back, and everybody's in the car, and it's like 25 minutes back to our hotel. And so anyway, she was getting like, grouchy or whatever. It was a long day, like you said, and she did great. But anyway, so I'm letting her watch on my phone. And so she's watching like, I don't know, Ariel or Frozen or something. Okay, so we get there and we're about to get out. So everyone's getting out at the valet at our hotel. And all of a sudden, London stands up and she vomits, you guys, all over this guy's car.
Oh my God.
She's 2. Okay.
No.
At this point, she's 2 years old.
She
I never
got
knew.
car sick.
She did. And so my son gets car sick. She's never been in a car like that. And it was my fault too because of the screen. So anyway, all over. I'm like, Brian grabs her all over the valet down the stairs of his, like it was,
oh my God.
I don't know how much a little baby could throw up, to be honest with you.
A lot.
Well,
It was, I felt so bad for the drive. Oh, I didn't care about my kid. I mean, yes. I mean, she was fine. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, she got it out.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you're fine. I mean, it's covering. She's completely head to toe covered, the whole bit. Anyway, all over my jacket, all over everything, right? Okay, whatever. So, but all I could think about, I still feel so bad, was this poor Uber driver. Because I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm thinking, so Brian, of course, gave him like extra to clean his car, like as nice as you could get. He was very generous. But because I said to Brian, oh my God, we ruined his income for the whole night. Like, did we give him enough money? I need to send him more money. And I just kept like ruminating over it. Like, I was having like night terrors over it. And then Brian told me in the morning, he said,
his mom's
no,
Yep.
he said we were his last stop. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
I felt so guilty for this Uber driver, and thankfully Brian had paid like triple what he, like he more than took care of it. So thank God for that. But I just like, I felt I couldn't get it. Like, I don't know. I felt so bad. But anyway, shout out to all you lovely Uber drivers out there.
And the moms that have this go on. Like,
And the people that get vomited on. And the people
let me tell you, they prefer a little London than drunk people.
They
right?
do. Yes. We've seen both. We've seen both.
Yeah. So give us the update. Enough about me. I want to hear more about you ladies. Give us the update now. I know you got messed up with your 75 hard, but can you give us the update on your 75 hard? And also, can you please do the yoga instructor, how you got, I mean, I know you kind of did it on the last episode, but can you please repeat Jamie, because it was so freaking funny.
Jamie was.
I like your impression of him.
I know, right? Come on, Kelli.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened?
He did the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, let's go.
Go now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn over. Going now. 5, 6. Carried around a clock. That was my favorite.
I don't know how you even do that in the heat. I mean, like, there's no way I could even speak in the room.
Yeah, the guy next to me at one point was like, what is going on here? And he just started getting his weights.
Oh, yeah, he was on his own.
I was like, and people are there every day doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
I was really excited, but
there was no like consistency within
it was
class.
Crazy. It was crazy.
It wasn't like, hey, everyone go get a medium and a heavy band. Everyone go get 2 sets of weights. It was like just marching.
Yeah. Do your thing.
I was like, okay.
Now we're going to do abs. And then he starts doing squats. And then he starts doing, I mean, it was like, I was like, okay. And then he'd leave the room for a bit. He went out for a while and came back.
Oh, yeah, he went out, got cooled off, came back. I mean, like, my head was exhausted. I couldn't, like, my head was more tired than my body because I couldn't even, like, get it together. I couldn't figure
Kelli
it
and I
out.
walked out of there going, okay, we sweated.
Yeah.
I was like,
Everywhere.
what? I was like, what was that?
What just happened?
And what was so funny to me was that, because when we were debriefing about it before you filmed the episode about it, you were doing your impersonation and you were describing it all to me, and I was envisioning something, you know, when someone's telling you a story.
I thought it was going to be reformers under lights.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be Nicole.
Yeah, we thought the Inferno was lights. Inferno was lights.
I did.
No, I did too. 100%.
So I was,
No lights.
when you were starting to describe him, I literally started to envision him, and you send me the picture, and I was like, this is exactly how I envisioned him.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like I manifested him. Like, he was the exact instructor. I was dying. So
funny. And he has like a following. He teaches like multiple classes, I think, every day.
Yeah.
Should we be like tagging him? Because so for those of you that
maybe
the Aspen episode, go back to the Aspen episode because they were in Aspen and they took this class and it was just a hilarious recount. And then we did post the photos of him too. So please go check out the Instagram and you'll see. Because it was so funny. By the way, shout out to, we didn't, I don't want to forget to say, shout out to your lovely sister-in-law, McCall, because she's the one that referred you to me and me to you or whatever. So this is all her fault too. So everybody go blast her and say thank you for this lovely show. Okay, so give us the update on 75 Hard, because I got to tell you, I feel like you guys have been doing this for literally a year. It feels forever.
We're like 2 weeks.
Barking, sorry.
Yeah, I had to like step away. I mean, I didn't complete it because I was really knocked down with this thing, and that was like the hardest. I think that was the hardest thing is I'm super active, so for me to have to give it up and not. I mean, I'm still like I'm regrouping. I'm trying to do more and more each day, but Kelly's been at it, man. She's almost to the finish line.
I'm day 60 today. So
Congratulations.
I'm 15 days. And yeah, I've just basically just continued with what I've been doing. This week has been awesome because it's been so nice out. So it's been easy to get outside, which has been great. But yeah, I have 15 days left and it's been a great journey. I'm glad that I'm doing it. And I will be happy when March 17th has come and gone.
Okay. What is the thing that you're looking forward to the most upon successfully completing 75 hard, Kelly?
Uh, well, I would say that
It's freezing again.
just having a choice to do what I would like as a workout and where I would like to do it. So I don't have to be outside for 45 minutes if I choose not to, which I am looking forward to. It was a difficult kind of, I didn't think about weather or Sundance when I chose January and February. So it's been a fun ride, but I think this will be the only time I do these 2 months. I think Jen and I talked about like September, October, and I think that like that's a more realistic time,
It'd be
How
so much
about
fun.
just
honestly.
maybe not do it? I mean, it just sounds awful.
I am ready for a glass.
Maybe that too.
I am ready for a glass of wine. I'm not even like a wine drinker anymore, and I'm like, it
I
sounds
know.
so good to
I
just
said
have
that
a
like
glass of
2 days
wine.
ago. Well, I would say the most difficult thing is when Jen and I were traveling, and especially in Aspen, we had this like gorgeous steak at this gorgeous bar.
The restaurant you
And
recommended,
what?
the restaurant you recommended, the number of the
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to ask you because you said you had great meals on the last
that was
episode and you didn't
amazing.
say where you ate. You said
That was
sushi and
amazing.
steak. Well, it's 312 steak 312, I think
Yeah,
is what it's called, right?
yeah, I think so.
Something like
Is that
that.
what it was called?
16
I
or
think
I,
so.
something. You know,
I can't remember. But we sat at the bar. It looked like an old school restaurant inside. Um, the bartender was awesome, and it was like everything was kind of a la carte,
Yes.
right? And we had the best meal, but that was like, okay, I really wanted a martini with my steak
Oh,
or a
I would have
glass of
had
red
it.
wine.
I would have had
So
it.
that was hard. But we, you know what? We had the finest tea and mocktails.
we
Let me
did.
tell you,
He
Wow.
made a good mocktail actually with the
he
ginger.
did. He made a good mocktail.
How'd
He did.
that sit with you guys? Did it hit the spot a little bit or not really?
The mocktail,
It hit a spot, but
we
I'm
had
not sure about the spot.
I mean, we had to make it work. But I'm not going to be sad. I'm still
No,
drinking. I'm doing my best,
all you could do, dude.
but
Jen,
yeah,
you got 2 more weeks. You got to finish strong. You
I'm
got
gonna finish
to.
it. Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
when
finish
are you going to regroup in terms of your physical exercise? Maybe let's pick
well,
a date.
today I went swimming, so that was the
Okay.
first time I got out, and I'm tired from it. Like it was hard for me. I took my time. It took me longer than it usually does and stuff, but I did do it. I'll take a little walk with my dog today, and slowly I'll try to, get on my bike again, and try to. But it's still the respiratory thing, so it's hard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the hard thing. And we're supposed to get snow, I think Monday, Tuesday, or something.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's going to get a little bit cold. But the great thing about swimming, number one, I wish I loved swimming. I wish I loved the water. Um, is that if you like it during 75 hard, that counts as an outdoor workout. So if you swam for 90 minutes, you're done, which is awesome.
Used to use it during when I was really at it. I was picking the days that were crappy and swimming because
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
so
I was swimming
smart.
in the pool, So I did do that. Um, so that was good.
Yeah.
And then
I feel
right
like
before I
Jamie
got
would
sick,
teach a
and
killer water aerobics class.
I should teach a water aerobics. Oh my gosh, that'd be funny.
I'm not
Sorry.
Do they
going.
even do that
I was just
anymore?
visualizing Jamie in the water with you guys. But
Oh my
anyway,
God. Marching.
What? I'm glitching. Yeah.
No, marching. Jamie is marching.
Oh, Jamie. Jamie should do the water aerobics, right?
Dude, I would
One, two,
drown from
three,
laughter.
four, tread water now, go.
I'd be like, okay, okay, okay.
Guys, I'm going to Aspen just for Jamie.
I think
I think that you should. I mean, it's
Well,
worth
I'm
a
only
trip.
going with you guys, and maybe bring Nate for like an excuse, you
you
know?
Yeah,
gotta
exactly. He
you
could
gotta go
twirl
back
around.
then, for sure. That was so funny. That was so funny.
We got to go when we're not doing
Uh,
75
but
hard.
I tried this new place, the lab thing, and I want Kelly to try it out this week with me, maybe when she's back from the cabin.
Yeah.
I did
Tell
before
us
I got
about it.
sick. I tried it, and it's pretty amazing. There's this thing called PEMF, PEMF, and you lay like on this mat, but it has coils in it, and then you put another mat on top of you, and it's like it feels like stim. If you've ever had stim at PT, where it's just like pulsing, but it goes to the places in your body where you need cellular repair. And it was really strange because I don't have like hip pain, but it was like in my hip, like focused on my hip. So clearly somewhere in my hips, I needed cellular repair. So I tried that. I definitely want to go back and do that again. That was amazing. And then I did the light. I laid in, it's like a tanning bed with no tan.
Right.
It gets pretty hot in there, and you just, but they say doing it 3 days a week the problem is I messed up now because I've missed it. So you kind of got to start over. You got to do it for 3 weeks at a set schedule in order to see the light have the effects that you want it to have. Which
Okay.
is, repair, and it's all recovery. And then Nate did it and loved it.
The cold or
He did the cryotherapy, which he
the
loved.
cryotherapy.
Did this PEMF, and he
Okay.
I really did like it. Like it goes to cellular repair, and so
Where did it focus on his body?
he said
I
was
mean,
really weird his abs,
really interesting.
not his legs, which is crazy because he's always landing on his his thighs and his
Or his knees,
Yes, and I thought it'd be my knees,
I
but
think mine's just gonna like light on fire. I mean, it's gonna be like just head to toe, going
we
right
need
up in
repair
flames.
everywhere, repair everywhere,
I need
repair
everything
everywhere.
repaired.
And
Yes.
speaking of next week, our guest is going to be this beautiful girl from Guam. Her name's Ashley Nadler, and she is an esthetician. And she's got me on some new skin things. Kelly's had her do a facial too. She does these like incredible skin routines that I think is really good for women our age to start paying attention to. Just different things. So she's all about skin wellness. And
Oh,
that kind
I
of thing. So
can't wait for that one because I feel like it's very confusing where to
Yeah.
go, what to put on your face. And
Yeah.
like, to be honest with you, I'm trying to do the least, but I would love to hear her must-have tips. Like,
sorry, guys.
I would love to hear it too. I do the least. I mean, like, whatever's in the shower is what makes it on me kind of person. Like, that's the kind of gal I am. And I think at 53, maybe step it up a notch.
He's just really
I
great.
love her.
Yeah, and
She is.
she just opened her own place for the first time. She's in her 20s. She's like, really trying to make it. And I thought, come on the podcast and talk about her audience are really like moms like us, like
Yeah.
yeah.
that need.
I also feel like skincare, like all the treatments and things, like I keep seeing random things on my feed or you hear, your friends and I feel like it's an area that changes so fast that I'm at the point where I actually don't even know what are like some of the best things out there right now that if I were to get a facial or something or go see an esthetician, like what are the ones that are the best ones? Like, have you ever seen the ones where they take I forget what it's, dermaplaning is what it's
Yeah.
called. They take like almost like a knife or a, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Like
A
so they
blade.
scrape
A blade.
and they scrape your face. Like, are we doing that? I don't know. Or is it a laser? Or like, what are the things?
Her
Tell us.
microdermabrasion, like she does all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to talk to her
It
You
Yeah,
depends who you talk to, like, I mean, I've heard like you don't want to do that. I've heard that you do. So I've heard some people wax their face. I don't, I don't know. It's
yeah,
hard to, I mean, there's, like you said, there's so much out there. It's hard to know what or who to believe.
exactly.
Um,
So
I don't
get
know.
all the hottest scoop from her on what's
Oh,
really
we're going to
working.
try.
and trial and error, like what's been
Yeah.
working and what hasn't. So I thought that could be a fun episode to talk to her.
Yes, for sure.
Just
Okay,
what
good.
can
We're
do because
down.
I want to like
Yeah.
address my
I think that would be
sunspots.
great.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that episode again, selfishly. And, I just want to say thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me, but also thank you for doing this show because really, I think you guys just showing up as yourselves is so highly entertaining. It's such a fun show. It's also just such a real show that we're all learning from. And I cannot tell you how big of a fan I really am and how much I really do enjoy it. And I know so many other people out there do. So just thank you for letting me be a part of it. And thank you for your creativity and your honesty. Yeah, looking forward to next week and so many more great shows to come.
I am
Yes.
too. Thank
Us
you.
too. And
Thanks
thank
for
you.
doing this remote. I don't want to give you the plague.
What?
I
Oh my God.
think
Thank you for not giving it to me.
I think I'll be
So
better.
sorry.
I'll be better. I mean, I'm going up now, so you know,
Wait,
I'm
where are you
hoping.
headed? What's Escalante? Tell us. We're nosy. We want to know everything
Oh,
about you.
Escalante is where my cabin is in southern Utah. It's about an hour from Bryce, which is a national park in southern Utah. We have a little off the grid cabin that my husband has built. Now we have Starlink, so we do have internet, but we did not for 20 years. And yeah, it's our little sacred spot. My husband's going to have 2 days off, which we have not had this year, and
You
we're
going
going to go
today?
escape with the dogs. Um, he's threatening to leave tonight, but we all know that means tomorrow morning.
Okay. Be careful with the
Yeah,
weather. Yeah, we're supposed
I
to.
know. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
the nosy people, and again, I'm speaking myself and your audience as well, but we would love pictures of your
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to
dog.
say I'll do a little.
Take
Huh?
pictures. Take pictures. I bet you're. Are you
Okay.
going to have nice weather? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Good.
going to be nice.
Good.
So,
Good.
Great. Well, have a great trip, and thank you again for having me on, you guys.
yeah, thank you, and thanks everyone else out there for
Please
joining
like,
us on this
subscribe, and
episode
share. And
14. Yeah.
if you have any podcast interest, shout out to us, and we'll put you in touch with Kimberly because she's the queen of podcasting.
Shout out to you, Jen, in the
What?
basement.
Yeah, I'm in the basement.
Froze.
I think what she was saying is for your podcast needs that you can contact me, Kimberly
That's
at
what I was
Kimberly Levy.
trying to say when I got
Okay.
frustrated by all my technical
I
difficulties.
love you.
Okay, I love you too.
We got it.
What about you?
You can write in and ask your questions on our show's Instagram page at JK It's Not About You, and we will address your questions on the next week's episode.
If this episode helped you, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family.
Share the fun with all those that can benefit from a good laugh or cry with us.
Please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we would greatly appreciate you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.